So Warframe is a multiplayer space shooter that came out in 2013, and we tried it when it came out. It didn't really grab us. Wasn't that great at the time, at least for us. But a lot of changes have happened to it. There's been a lot of talk recently about Destiny 2. So a few weeks ago, we decided to hop into Warframe again, kind of give it a fair shot and see how the game plays nowadays and what we think about it. And let me tell you, yeah, we kind of liked it. So if you want to hear us dote on Warframe, just hang out and we'll be back here in a second.
After this, I'm going to be so popular.
This is the THACO Gamers Network.
So, hello everybody and welcome to the THACO Gamers. My name is Matt and I have here, oh my god, we have almost everyone here with us today. I got Chad and Jason and Matt. Welcome, fellas.
Well, what's happening?
I don't think Playmat is here yet, man.
That son of a bitch. Well, he'll join in later then. We're just going to keep going. Screw him.
All right, sounds good.
I'm sure he'll get plenty of words in, so it's not like we have to really worry that Matt's not going to get his chance to speak. So we're just going to keep going.
Yeah, his opinions are subpar anyway. So
That's true. It's very true. So we have been playing Warframe, and we decided that we would do our first impression / review on it. For most games, we have enough time in this to do a full review, but for what Warframe has to offer, it probably is just only can be a first impressions, even though we've got probably 20 hours or more in, depending on probably collectively over 100, I'd say, between all of us. So,
Easily.
Yeah. So Jay has I played it years ago, just for a little bit. Jay's the one that kind of got everybody back into it. So we'll start with you, Jay. What do you think of the game? What's up?
I think it's pretty badass. It's kind of filling my niche here for what I'm looking for. Not having a lot of playtime, this is a great game to get in, do a couple missions if you want, if you got time. They're usually about 10-15 minutes, sometimes even shorter than that.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of loot, different things you can build. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like you, I did when it first came out, I saw it and tried it because it looked cool, but it really didn't pull me in because there was no real explanation to anything.
Mm-hmm.
There still kind of isn't, but I think the game has a lot more depth now. They've worked on a lot of things, so
yeah,
it's pretty happy with it.
I will say there is a bit of a learning curve now, not like Eve learning curve, but there is a bit of a learning curve to this. I don't know if I was doing this by myself and didn't have you guys to kind of fall back on. I would probably feel a little bit overwhelmed. I don't know how. Now that I'm kind of past all that, I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable enough with it. But it was there's a lot of stuff. This for just a generico kind of. I mean, it's not generic, but for just a shooter, a space shooter like this has got a lot of stuff to it.
Yeah, I was kind of drawn in by the art style and everything, but I was really feeling like I had no idea what was going on because I didn't. But I ended up meeting up with some guys in the one of the mission teams, and they were helping me out. They invited me to their dojo, and then I got a voice chat with them, and they were telling me places to go to get the pieces I needed. They helped me out and explained a lot of things. So having some experienced people in this definitely helped me to enjoy it more.
Yeah, I feel it has that tutorial that kind of gives you your introduction, and it walks you through it nicely, but you're literally still only standing in ankle deep water of what is an ocean in a sense. I mean, with this game, there's a lot of stuff. And one thing I got to say I really like about it, guys, is your ability you're this warrior that you change your warframe. And by getting these new warframes, it completely changes up your play style, which makes it a lot of fun, which gives you a lot more replay ability in the game.
And the Warframe, for those that don't know, is just your armor, basically.
Yeah.
You get this in every set. I mean, your armor head to toe, and you totally look like a different character when you put it on. You can customize it with whatever colors you want, and there's unlockables and stuff like that. But and
abilities. You have different abilities.
Yes. Every piece of armor that you have gives you a separate set of, 4 abilities that come with the armor?
Yep.
And so, yeah, you can customize to that, and then there's like what appears to be like 450,000 different weapons and stuff like that you can use in here. So, hey Matt, I hear you're here. We started without you because we wanted to.
I heard that.
They didn't let me know until we were already going, and you know what? I said,
nice.
screw it, we're gonna press on. So, so we haven't really said much about it yet. We just kind of got started on it. But what are your being one who's into these kind of games? You were really into Destiny too. I guess Jay was as well. But so what's your take on Warframe?
Comparing this to the only title that I've played semi sort of like this would be Destiny. I actually like this a lot more than I liked Destiny. And I have already put more time into this than I have ever put into Destiny, just for the fact that, I mean, all four of us are playing, and it's a great game to play with a group.
Mm-hmm.
But just the small little things like customizing your Warframe and throwing new mods on and upgrading your mods and being able to do that, I think completely outweighs Destiny's changing your weapons and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The quests are pretty cool too. You know, there's different types. There's, you know, the spy missions where you have to sneak around at a certain point, and then there's the hack and slash, and then there's the defense and all that kind of stuff. So there's, you know, tons of different play styles in this game, and I think it is doing really well.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
I was gonna say, I played Destiny on my Xbox One, and I hate shooters on consoles, but I got it because I liked the idea of Destiny, kind of what they promised and what it seemed like it would be an MMO, which we're all into.
Mm-hmm.
But once I actually got playing it, it just didn't feel like it had a lot of depth to it. You were at the small area on the tower, and it didn't really feel very personal at all. Whereas this game, I mean, there's just so much you can do with your character. From the appearance to your function to, I mean, just so customizable. Whereas Destiny, you basically have guns and that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
So this one is definitely a big step up. And a lot of people online make that comparison. They, you know, the Warframe fanboys will tell you, you know, forget Destiny, Warframe's free and, you know, 100 times better. And kind of tending to agree with that.
Well, that is one thing that is definitely worth noting for anybody that, I mean, if you're like me, you kind of know pretty much every free game that's out there, but a lot of people don't necessarily. I mean, this game is free, and what you're looking at on my screen and the video clips that I'm showing here is all gameplay that we have all went through, and we haven't paid a penny for any of it. At least I haven't. I don't know if you guys have, but I haven't paid anything yet for this. So, and it's a really good game. The fact that it is free is actually pretty amazing, honestly.
I did end up buying what's Platinum, which is their, you know, pay real money for it, and that's the in-game currency. I did end up spending, like, I had a gift card for Steam, so I bought like $50 worth. But for me, it's totally worth it because I don't have a ton of playtime to grind.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, I guess, the rest of us. But I was like, what the heck? I got nothing else really to spend that Steam card on. So bought some Platinum. I've been really happy with it, just expanding my weapons that I can use. And
so still less than you've spent on Destiny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
But truthfully, too, I mean, most of the stuff on that marketplace, especially things that help your character, can be found in game.
Yep, exactly.
And earned in game. So again, It's not necessarily the pay to win; it's the pay to get it faster.
And that's what sold it for me, because
Yeah.
I'm willing to spend money on the game if I like it. But if it gives you any type of advantage, you know, it ruins the game, or it just doesn't. You can collect parts, you can collect blueprints, and I think it's well worth any money that you spend in here.
Yeah. Now we were talking about how you can customize your character and you can customize the weapons and the different warframes and stuff. So I've kind of got this open here, and basically how this works. This is my warframe and the weapons that my character has, and you can just go to upgrade, and you get all of these mods that you can drag and place into there to give certain abilities, plus 40% health, etc. And then not only can you put these into your weapon, as your weapon levels up, you can put more of these into there, and you can also go to what is basically a crafting station and level up these mods that you put into your weapon. So you can level up everything basically. So
yeah, even your pets.
Yeah.
and your pet's
Yeah.
weapons.
See, I
Basically,
haven't gotten a pet yet. But go ahead, Chad.
Right. I was going to say, basically, the strength of leveling up comes with being able to add more mods. That's where the strength of your equipment comes from.
Mm-hmm.
You could level up, and if you're not putting these mods into your equipment, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of payback or payoff from leveling up. It's the ability to add these mods and grow these mods. That's the real leveling system of this
Sure.
game.
Yep.
And this game wants you to try everything.
Yes.
I know.
If you get a great mod, like you said, you can level it up, you can modify it, and use those resources. But then you can take that same mod and you switch warframes, and you can put it in there, and you don't lose out. You can totally swap things. And I heard that's kind of one of the things about. I'm sure we'll be making some Destiny comparisons. Once you put something in a gun or whatever on Destiny, it's kind of gone forever. So I assume that's the case. This one, there's no limit to basically what you can do.
Yeah, being able to reuse mods is huge. That would be such a I don't know, a time and money sink if you could use a nice mod once and it stuck with that weapon, because there's so many other weapons that they encourage you to use depending on what you're doing.
And it does encourage you to do that because you don't want to max something out and have all this great equipment in there or mods in there and then start another weapon and have nothing to be able to put into it once you get it up to where you're at. And you can actually have different loadouts, very easily swappable loadouts for even the same set of weapons. So depending on what you're doing and who you're playing with, you can just, try your one of your 3 loadouts that you have for any particular mission or group of guys that you're playing with too, which is super cool.
Yeah, another cool thing about that is when you switch a different warframe or you switch your weapon and you're leveling that up, all of that extra experience that you're using to increase, the power of your weapons and warframes, you're also gaining like mastery experience. And the higher mastery, the more weapons you unlock.
See, I was unaware of that. I didn't know about that.
Well, if you go into your little Warframe arsenal area and you click on, say, like your main weapon, and you go to equip, see where it says like mastery 10.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, yes. Okay, I didn't know about that.
So once you hit mastery 10, that weapon becomes available.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the way to get your mastery up there is if you hit escape and you go into your character, that little blue line underneath your name is your experience for your mastery. Once you get that all the way up, you start leveling your mastery. And you do those little side missions where, it's just you in that little matrix type thing where, you're fighting a bunch of guys and it gives you a specific mission. Once you complete it, you up your mastery and you unlock a whole different set of weapons.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know about that. I wasn't sure what you were referring to there, but that makes sense. Now, I don't have a pet in this game. I got an egg and have it on the incubator, but do you guys have the pets yet? Any of the pets?
Yep.
Yes.
I've got my Kubro, and then I've got the Taxon, which in the Destiny equivalent would be like the Ghost kind of, but this one actually does combat, and you can load it up with different weapon types.
Yep. I have the Taxon as well, and I am currently incubating my
Kubro.
Or getting the pieces to incubate it.
So, go ahead. Were you gonna say something, Chad?
Yes, I was going to say I'm in the same boat as Matt. I do have my Kubro is basically a puppy, but I can't use him for the war yet. So
basically the way that this game works as far as going through and playing through levels and questing and stuff like that is you start on Earth and you have to do through the single player part of the game, which you can do with other people. But through the questing of there, you start on Earth and you go through these different areas and try to unlock these links to these different planets. So the next one you go to is Venus, and then from there on to Mercury, and then that will give you quest completions where you can move the other way and go up to Mars and circle around. And that's kind of how the game had been up until just very recently. And I've only done maybe a couple of quests on here, but there's basically kind of their reply to Destiny, I would say, I guess, because it's kind of an open world area on Earth that they're playing at with this new expansion, right, guys?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So has anyone done, I've only done like maybe 3 or 4 quests out there, but I mean, what's your guys' take on that? What do you guys think of the open world area with the quest hubs and all the people out there? Because there wasn't anything like that in this before that. It was just you're on your ship.
Yeah, well, the relays were kind of the closest thing. They're common areas where you can go to, and that's where I just kind of, like, my jaw basically dropped, seeing all the different warframes, all the customization. I just really had no idea kind of the possibilities in there. So that was kind of neat, seeing that common area, but now seeing the plains of Eidolon. It's different. It's kind of tough. Just like the rest of the game, there's not a lot of there's no hand holding. So there's a lot of things you have to figure out. Like, I bought a fishing spear, but I have no idea how to fish yet. So it's definitely a good start. They're doing good things with this game, and it sounds like it just keeps expanding and improving all the time from the small company, which is cool.
Yeah, and I actually started a vote to go to the Plains of Eidolon. If you guys wanna, we can go get some footage of there and walk around some of the open world area and check that out. And this is their ships out here, by the way, which I was really excited about
like
the first
that.
time I saw that. When you
That you
party up
actually
with somebody, their ship comes flying up next to yours.
Yeah, and the load screens are really reminiscent of Destiny. And I know this game came out before Destiny, but probably more people have played Destiny.
I would say so,
maybe?
probably. I mean, yeah, more people that I know have played Destiny.
Right. And then, okay.
Is that you guys right there?
Out there. That's cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the last time Matt and I played this, it took us forever to get through that
Holy
hallway.
cow,
and,
dude.
like, it was like a
Yeah.
queue or something. It was kind of weird.
It was brutal. And the cool thing that they have about, with this game, that you actually go through a bunch of missions to unlock some things, is they also have, like, the factions, like you would see in World of Warcraft and other MMOs like that, where you've got your little factions. You put your little sigil on and you get bonus, basically, faction experience. And then they unlock different mods as well. Now, the Plains of Eidolon, I love this freaking place, dude. This is awesome for a game like this. I mean, just random encounters everywhere. Like, there's a ship coming in right now, and I mean, this stuff gets hard. Like,
I was gonna
the further
say,
you get out.
Stop. Like, when Playmats and I went out the other day, it was literally dropship after dropship, and we were trying just to finish my man. It was nuts. It was fun though. It was crazy fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, we were running and sliding down the hills, just trying to get away from these guys because they were like level 35, and we're in these new warframes, and we're just running around like, oh man, it was crazy. Like, we were jumping and running down those, like, that mountain in the back there. We're running, sliding down it like the whole way. It was freaking cool.
This is the first time I've been out here at, like, this dusk or dawn time frame. This looks really cool out here too.
And they do the different time frames, which is pretty sweet, because they say don't come out. Yeah, don't come out here during nights. I was out here during the middle of the day, and it was stupid hard. So I don't want to go out here during the night yet.
Now, we've been sitting here talking about just the customization and the loadouts and the warframes and all the other stuff, and we're kind of leaving out two of the most obvious and really kind of amazing things about this game are the graphics and the friggin' gameplay. Like,
yes,
this isn't just a customizable shooter. This is one of the most, for me, I don't have as much experience in shooters as you guys do. But this is the smoothest, most comfortable shooter to get into of any that I have ever played.
It is. It's really easy to get into the controls and learn them, because everything seems so simplified. And guess what? The map button is M. I'm like super happy about that, because Eve's was not.
Yeah, see, like, out here, I just killed a rat or bird or something, and it started a quest to kill 200 of these. So like, you have to keep going. So you have to keep going to a quest giver or anything. It's kind of one of those achievements.
It is. It's progressive questing, and it just kind of happens naturally, which is cool, because you'll be out here and all of a sudden you'll get a quest for, the enemy's drop pod just landed. We want you to go get it. And then you're like halfway across the map, and you're like, okay, I guess I can go do that. So you're traversing this huge landscape, trying to get to it, and then once you get there, you find out that the enemies are crazy hard.
we're doing exactly
see
what
this
we
right
should.
now?
I know
I
we're all
know.
doing exactly what we shouldn't do in reviews. We got to head back to the main area here.
Yeah. Now I will say, as good as this game is, the single player quest line, if that's a good way to say it, is basically a linear set of your multiplayer quests
Yes, it is.
that you
Absolutely.
can group up. There's not a big story here. It's not, some epic journey, but it's a lot of fun.
Yes. And one of the nice things about this is because all of these missions are mostly, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes for most of them, this is one of those games where we're like, hey, we don't have a lot of time tonight. Let's go do a couple of Warframe missions. You hop in, you're in and playing immediately, and you can actually make some progress and then in an hour and be done done for the night if that's all the time that you have to play. Where there's a lot of games, especially MMOs and stuff that we're into, you just are getting rolling after 30 minutes, to an hour in an MMO a lot of times. And if that's the only amount of time that you have, you don't even have time to progress, and you don't even feel like you can do anything.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jay.
I just say this game is nice for that. I mean, it puts you in squad. You select which mission you want to do, and if it's an alert, it'll pair you up with other people right away. It's simple. You don't have to look for group. Come on and join me. I'm trying to find people. It's just you get in, you go, you do your mission, you can get out. Which is missing in a lot of MMOs. There's a lot of just sitting around and twiddling your thumbs. And I don't know.
And I will say, the community so far, when we've had public people join our groups, for the most part, it's gone really smoothly. Now, you'll have some people that try to basically sprint to the end and then just sit there and, what are you doing? Let's go. I've had a couple people like that. It's like,
Matt.
dude.
Matt. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm saying other people. Like,
I know.
there's
a
this
complain about it.
No. There's this one, there's a few people they'll run through because they just want to finish the quest and get whatever achievement they wanted. So they'll be over there cussing in group chat. But, that's going to be in every game. For the most part, people have been really cordial and helpful in this game. I will say.
I've met some cool people that were really helpful. And one of the good things about this, if you're in a squad of 4, if 2 of you get to the end, the timer starts and you have a minute to before the mission ends, and you'll still get extracted anyway. So it's not like everybody has to wait for that last person before anybody can leave.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's not you're not griefing anybody, and if you can't get to the end, if you're a big looter like me, then
it actually pays to have somebody in your group like Jay,
right?
Then you can rush to the end, and he'll get everything for you.
So and another
that's what I'm doing.
Another thing with the controls on here too, because we kind of just skimmed over it, but I mean the shooting and all of that is very comfortable and nice, and your guy is like a friggin' ninja, and you can just do all of these really cool moves, and it's all very fluid and easy, and it doesn't take long to kind of learn how to do it. And it's from stealth to wall jumping. There's you can double jump and then do a crazy dash spin in the air and clear huge chasms.
There's actually
wall run.
Running on the walls, wall jumping. If there's a wall, you can jump all the way up to the top of it, and it all flows very good. None of it feels like this is something that you shouldn't be able to do and they threw in. I mean, it's all very well thought out and just is very smooth playing game.
Right. I mean, the parkour aspect, that's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's well thought out. Now, I will say, depending on the type of shooter people like, this one's a little different, like from Destiny, in the sense where I don't feel a whole lot of recoil with my target reticle when I'm shooting in Warframe. Like when you're in Destiny, you're shooting and that barrel's raising on you. So it depends on what kind of feel people like in their shooters, but this is definitely more arcadey. Warframe is, where you're not going to get that kick with your rifles and stuff.
Well, I have a shotgun, and there's
the shotgun does it, huh?
Yeah. There's definite recoil on a shotgun. But have you tried a sniper rifle as well?
No, I have
not got
not.
one of those yet.
Yeah, I have one, but I haven't tried it. I like this machine gun thing, the automatic rifle.
Well, here we thought you were going to have something to say about have you tried a sniper rifle? Well, neither have I.
No, I haven't tried a sniper rifle, but I'm assuming that has a lot of recoil on it too, because half the mods are like recoil mods.
But I will say I love the arcadiness of it. I love dual wielding these little machine guns and you know, your blades, and it's a lot of fun.
Having a 200 round clip.
Yeah.
I just saw, I think, Jay go in there and just like swinging a baseball bat. There were like 10 guys flying up in the air.
Yeah,
you must have left the party, Chad, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, go ahead. What were you saying, Jay?
Oh, this is my new Rhino Warframe. It's a tank frame, and I never thought I'd be interested in it, but it's kind of fun to run it through a group of guys. If you like Rhino on Spider-Man, just head down and blasting.
That's cool. I'm actually just following you to get some of your gameplay with that, so it's not all just my just my Warframe.
That's the same one that I'm using right now too.
Are you? Oh, that's right. You do have the Warframe now.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool, like with me, I got a bow and arrow, so I'm always, when we're going through the spaceships and stuff, shooting people, I'm pinning guys to the walls and the ceilings. And
that's really cool looking.
It's so awesome
when you do that.
So, yeah, obviously, as you can hear, we're all very happy with this. Do you guys have any negatives about this? I mean, you know, no game is perfect. What do you guys have to say on any kind of downsides to this or things that you wish were a little bit different?
Well, I already mentioned the story is lackluster, but I don't think that's where this game shines, or they want to shine. Right, exactly.
Well, but one of the things
it's basically your linear tutorial in a sense.
Yeah.
One of the things about that though is that the guy that I was playing with, who've been playing this for years or whatever, they say that it will open up and things will get explained, and you know what a 10-0 means and the warframes, and there's a whole story and stuff that gets it kind of either unfolds. But when you get into this, it's like, oh, I'm a shooter, I'm shooting things, and that's about it.
Yes.
One of the things I don't like about it, that it makes you feel like when you get in here, it's just a mindless shooter.
This is the
first impressions video.
Yes,
so
yeah,
I mean, in a sense, like you said, it might open up later. We did a review of Eve recently. That might be an amazing game down the road, but we're not spending the 2,000 hours to get.
Yeah.
So this game, even without that at this point, is definitely worth playing, though. I mean, it is not like Eve. This is kind of, we think, going to be one of our main games for a while right now, at least. All of us are going to continue playing this, and none of us are putting this down or have any intentions of moving on to anything else, except to maybe do some other reviews of some other games just so we can. But
for sure,
this is going to be this is going to stay installed on our computer, or at least mine, for quite some time. This might be one of my permanent ones with WoW and ESO and SOTOR that doesn't get uninstalled.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't really see myself ever getting totally sick of this, you know. Even for like Matt and I, who got into like League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm and stuff, this would be a good one even for those nights when we just want to go, you know, do some fighting or whatever. Now, there's PvP in this as well that I have not even touched. Have you guys done any of that yet?
I have.
How is it?
Of course I have. I always do.
I know game. You. So what's your take on the PvP?
It's like regular shooter PvP. I mean, it's good. It's just, exactly like, you know, like playing Halo, or, I mean, not like Call of Duty or anything like that, but like a space-aged, you know, PvP type game where you go out and there's an arena and there's a bunch of guys and you just try and kill each other. And being as new as I was still getting kills. So I didn't feel like, you know, there was somebody in here that was overpowered.
Sure.
Just completely wrecking people because they spent hundreds of dollars in this game, you know?
Now,
hitting that thing at all?
I did hit it a few times, but I'm not now that it's moving. I do 29 damage when I hit it.
I was going to say, you're like doing the Skyrim thing.
Trying to kill a dragon.
Yeah, from like 4 years away. Hold on here, I'll hit it. Have you seen those videos? Those are crazy, by the way. Like the Skyrim trick shots.
Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Oh, So that was pretty funny, Jay.
Yeah. We were all thinking it. So yeah, there's a couple of there's like PvP, but it's not anything crazy. I mean, and there's just a ton of stuff in this game, and I'm addicted to this game, honestly, and it's been a long time since I've really got into a game and enjoyed it. Look forward to it, set time aside to play. So I'm really I'm happy about that, actually. I found something I'm enjoying, and it doesn't feel like it's taking up much of my time unless I want to put it into it.
Right.
Now, another thing too that won't apply to a lot of people, but is definitely something that kind of matters or is interesting to me about this, or makes this more enjoyable, is that this plays with a controller perfectly. This is set up and intended to be used with a controller. The controls are great, and for me, I have a Steam Link sitting up in my bedroom, and on the nights when I don't feel like sitting at the PC and just kind of want to relax a little bit more when I play, I can fire this up and go through missions with a controller without a problem, and that is a huge plus for me. Which is like with ESO, you know what I mean? If you have the ability to make this a couch game as well, that's friggin' really cool. Now, and I know that doesn't apply to a lot of people, a lot of PC gamers, they just play on the PC, but I like having that ability every now and again to just sit and play with the controller. And not many PC games do it well.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a good option to have. I love the mouse targeting. I've fallen completely off first person shooters on consoles because I just don't have what it takes anymore, I guess. But
well, if you're I use a Steam controller though with that thumb mouse pad, it works just like using a mouse, which is even better.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the controller, but like as of today, Destiny 2 launched on PC, and I'm playing Warframe.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you bought Destiny, didn't you?
yeah, I preloaded everything, and it's I'm like
Sitting.
I kept thinking about, oh, my Rhino finishes up today, and this other weapon, I can't wait to try those out.
Yeah, and that's another thing that Destiny doesn't have, and I don't know if they've done it in Destiny 2 because obviously it's just come out and I didn't do the beta or anything like that, but the ability to change classes. You know, if you want to be a tank, go be a tank. Go grab a Warframe that's a tank. If you want to be a damage dealer, go grab a Warframe that's a damage dealer. And a lot of MMOs don't give you that option.
Yeah, there's again my ignorance to this, but I didn't know Warframes actually had functions, and got talking to those guys. They're like, oh yeah, Rhino's a tank, and like Ember's like a mage, and Nidus is like leeching and stacks of damage and infection. I mean, there's all these different things, and it makes me enjoy it so much more knowing that, but it's not all laid out there for you, so a lot of people might get kind of bored by not exploring a little more.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was referring to with the learning curve. Like, it's not they do show you a lot of stuff, but like Chad said, you're kind of ankle deep in what there is to offer. They definitely don't explain everything fully to you, but you know, that's part of with games like this too, you know. That's part of the community aspect of it. If you got a good community, then they can teach you a lot of that stuff. So
You just hit that guy?
Yeah.
And I will say they do have some things that'll help you out along the way too. Like when I first started messing around with mods, I found they actually have like an auto setup where you click it and they'll say, okay, this is what we recommend for modding your weapon, which thank God, because when I was started, you had like 6 slots and I had no idea what to do. So I was just like, okay, autofill. So
yeah, and there's no real wrong answer to it. It may not be the most effective, but if you want to make a heat weapon, you can do that with your mods. If you want to make a cold or radiation, you can do that, or faster reloads. So, but yeah, that auto was definitely nice once I found that out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I will say, like, the games that we've been reviewing previously have been MMORPGs as far as our first impressions, which they all played much, much different than Warframe, which is basically a first-person shooter with MMO-type progression.
Right.
So that's a real big change here, you know, that people should know that this is a much different game than our standard fare when it comes to our MMO genre.
Yeah,
so to
pretty
speak.
much the only other game that we've played as a group that's even close to this would be Borderlands.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Borderlands, I think, is I actually think is quite similar to this, with a little bit more of the story and a little bit less of the gameplay. Is what Borderlands
has a humor. And
yeah.
absurdity.
Jeez, oh Pete's, what'd you guys get wrapped up in here?
I don't know, but we failed a mission somehow.
Did we? I'm not even
Yeah.
looking at that. I'm just trying to follow you guys around and get gameplay footage. So, well,
There's other things that there's some depth to too. We forgot, like you can use the incubator to create pets. You can supposedly breed different types of pets, and it's
Gameplay
like,
footage.
yeah. Well, no, we don't witness the footage, but
Man, I was talking about Matt Knight.
Oh,
No,
gotcha,
who did
gotcha.
the breeding?
I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but that's not what we got here. Like an old National Geographic show. But there's different types of Kubro is one of the first pets you get. It's kind of like a dog or a wolf type breed. Well, there's different types of that species that you could breed and mix, and there's a lot of depth there that we haven't even
oh
touched.
sure.
So it'll be interesting. Like Matt said earlier, this is a game we're probably going to keep installed and go to it, especially on the nights where we don't have a lot of playing time. So instead of a Divinity night that you're going to have to dedicate 2 hours to,
Yeah,
we
you
could jump on Warframe as a crew and play for a half hour, 45 minutes, and get a lot accomplished.
get a couple of missions done. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yes, exactly.
now Chad had his the things that he would would call a downside. What about Jay and Matt? Do you guys have anything that you're like, this game lacks? I would like to see this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, I guess the lack of telling you where to go. I mean, you got quests and stuff, and there's codex, but so many other games that kind of tell you this is the story of what's going on, and go out into the world, and we'll guide you. This is basically they drop you in, and
Shit just kind of happens.
yeah. And one of the things I was surprised that I didn't think Chad would like is that you don't like create a character necessarily and
Yeah.
customize looks and all that. And I like that too. You like feeling like it's the game is personal to you. You make it look however you want, like a favorite character or yourself. And you don't have that in this apparently until later. That does come about, which is part of the story reveal. So that is kind of a downside for people who like the MMO-ish personalizing portion of the game. But
Yeah, but
I do have a problem with that, but I'm okay with it. But that is a negative for me, Jay. You're right. I love creating characters and that kind of
but
thing.
you gave it a chance and you're enjoying it.
Yes, absolutely. Only because you're my friend. Otherwise,
Chad turns it on, is waiting for the character creation screen, and it never happens, so he shuts it off.
uninstall.
Now, and
But
this
game
is
like it's
go ahead.
it's just you don't know what to expect. I mean,
Right.
you just basically have to go through and play it and keep working through it, and more and more stuff gets revealed to you, and that's kind of the magic of it, I guess. Is it's for more mature thinking people, even though we're still doing it.
I was gonna say,
But like, as much as I've been playing this, I've been hours at a time occasionally, I'm not bored with it. And I think with Destiny 2,
Jesus.
I'm probably not going to be into it too long after the story, quote unquote, story is finished. It sounds like there's a lot of grinding, whereas this game, you can grind if you want, but it's not the whole point of it necessarily.
Right.
Well, and a lot of what you guys are talking about with the character creation isn't just another one of these things. This is more of a game like Borderlands. You know what I mean? Where another game that was a great game, but you're playing someone else's character. You're not really playing yours in that. But I do agree. I think it would be neat to have had that in here. That was cool watching that guy fall down there. So I do agree with that. What about Matt? Have you said anything about this that you would have liked to have seen, or maybe hope they implement later or anything?
Not really. I mean, honestly, I really like this game. Like, I mean, it pretty much has everything in it that I would want in an MMO so far that I've seen. Now, we're not, anywhere near like Endgame content or anything like that, but I'd really like to see what it is, but I'm enjoying getting there.
Yeah, which is definitely, like we were just talking about that the other day. If you don't enjoy the journey, then why is the journey even there? If the game's all about the end game, then start me at the end game. And this game
Exactly.
is
Good point.
obviously not all about the end game. This is I haven't not enjoyed playing this except when I was too tired to keep my head from falling down and collapsing on the keyboard because we've been playing so much,
Yeah.
So and that was not a
There's
fault
so
of the
many-
game.
There are so many warframes to level up and weapons to level up. It's almost like there is no end game to a point. I mean, there is, I'm sure. There's those super hard missions, but there's just so much to do with your single character that you could make this journey as long as you want it without creating alts, which most MMOs kind of require once you hit a specific part.
Right.
And Matt, I don't know if you want to go back onto the ship and show like the different primes, and or the different warframes. There's primes and
yeah, I kind of was. I kind of half explained it while we were going through, but I showed a lot of that stuff, and I can add that footage in later too. Unless there's something specifically you wanted to say about it, you can, and I can just overdub it right now. Put the footage on top of it.
No, just different options, and apparently there's more frames being added every once in a while, and there's some that go in and out of rotation. Some regular primes that become primes.
And what is prime specifically? What does that mean to someone that doesn't know?
So, like Frost Prime is one that we got with our Twitch Prime access. It's a version of the Frost Warframe. Same abilities. There's no real bonus from what I understand. It's different skins and some different things. It's more kind of like an exclusive content that you can get once in a while.
Which is but that's basically for Amazon Prime, or not Amazon, but Twitch Prime members.
No, the Twitch Prime just happened.
Oh, it's just the one that we got.
Stuff.
Okay.
They just come up with different Prime versions in this game of certain primes. So,
and you can get primes in game too.
Correct.
You could absolutely get
build
primes in
primes.
game. Yep, you can build primes.
You can find parts. You can find blueprints. I think you can build almost everything in here. Every kind of weapon in Prime. You just have to acquire the parts either through relic openings or loot drops. But yeah,
so
it's a good game.
So what would what is everyone's out of 10? What would you guys give this? Anyone can go first. We'll go alphabetically. So Chad.
How come I always have to rank these things first?
Okay, we will go. Okay, we'll go Jay. Jay, you can be the first one then. Chad doesn't want to go first.
I'm gonna say probably 8.5.
Okay.
I mean, I want to give it a 9, but I'd say 8.5 for sure. I really like it, and it's been a long time since I said that I've really liked the game and really want to play it. So
that is very true. Not just with you necessarily, but with me, I have felt that way as well. So, Matt,
I would give it pretty close to Jay's. I would say, lacking a storyline, I'd give it a 9. If they put a concrete storyline in here, that was good and easy to follow and that kind of stuff, I would definitely give this game a 10.
So now we're to you, Chad. You don't have to go first. We've got
I'm switch it around in the video.
Right. Take that. I'm really torn between an 8 and a 9, so I'll probably go right along with Jay and say 8.5.
Okay.
It's really good. I did miss creating a character. I don't necessarily like the anonymous hero in games, and the story is lacking, but the gameplay is a ton of fun, and there's always something to build for. I do enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. And we haven't even touched what that open world is yet. That's
Right.
a whole new aspect of the game that we
new
barely scratched the
materials
surface.
and
Yeah.
So I actually am right with you guys. For graphics, I would give this a 10. For gameplay, I would give this a 10. I would just bring the entire package down to a 9, just because of, like you said, the lack of the typical RPG aspects of character creation and story, which I don't know why I'm expecting this to have that, but maybe it's because those are just the games that we always play. You know, I also love Counter-Strike and League of Legends, which not really much of a story going on in either of those either. But this is near perfect for me so far. I mean, I absolutely love it. So,
You know what? I didn't even take into consideration this game is free. I'm bumping it to a 9. Why not? It's free, people.
a half a point. Free game, it gets a half a point.
Well, I'm not going 10.
I'm going to bump
Nothing's a
mine up
10.
to a 9.02.
Yeah.
But it's free. It's free. I'll round it up.
Yeah, actually, I would have to say if you're including price in there as a factor, yeah, because this is the best free game I have ever played. So as far as free games go, this is a friggin' 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Good point.
And so one of the things about that too, this game's been out for 3-4 years, so it's not like a game that just launched. It's free. It's awesome.
Right.
This game has been around and keeps improving. So you know these
You
guys are in
know-
it for the long. I'm
Yeah,
really
you
happy
know the
to
developers
support
are
them.
in it.
Yep. So, all right, cool. Well, we seem to overall be at, now that Chad has upgraded from an 8.5 to a 9. So,
Huge.
you guys got anything we want to add before we end this video? 3, 2, 1, contact. Anyone?
No, I'm just looking forward to playing it some more and learning some more things. I will send you a link to a lore video that somebody put together. He kind of compiled all this lore and did a reading of it. It's really cool. It helps explain what's going on in this world and with the Tennos and the Warframes. And some of it does get into spoiler territory for the story later, but it does make it, oh yeah, there's something going on here. It's not just mindless shooting. So
Well, basically, from what I understand from the story that I've played up to this point, is we were like defended the solar system from aliens or whatever, and then we've been cryogenically frozen, and now we're been unfrozen and have to learn all these new warframes to protect from the. Oh my God, what the hell was it?
Yeah.
and there's some
Holy balls.
Warframes or Tennos that got corrupted, and yeah, there's a lot going on.
So, but yes, super cool. You know, one downside, I didn't get to say the downside for me. If I was to say anything about this game that I didn't like, the enemies are repetitive.
Yeah, there's not a lot of variety.
Enemies in the missions, there could be now and this is something we totally didn't mention actually. The missions are repetitive. I think Chad had said that they're the same type of missions over and over and over again, but they're randomized.
Yes.
So that's actually pretty cool. You can kind of grind the same mission, but it's different every time. Just because the fact that they randomize the levels. Oh, I tried to save you and I died.
Oh Jesus! I did too.
But
I'll res her.
so the missions are randomized, so that's cool. But the enemies are repetitive, and the type of missions that you do are repetitive. That's the only thing that I would say is kind of a downside to this. But we haven't been into the open world, which is what this new expansion is all about. So I can't say for sure that that's not going to be fixed with this. You know what I mean? There are definitely some different enemies out here already that we've fought. That you
Even
see.
the missions in the same area, like of a planet, they're different because they're all like what do they call that? Procedurally generated.
Yeah, they're randomized.
Yeah, randomized.
So you never know, like, oh, you go left here, right here. It's all, you still got to pay attention. So it makes it feel like it's a totally new map.
Yeah, I believe that's exactly what I just said.
Random.
It's not random. It's procedure. It's procedural.
Procedurally random.
Random for us. It's not by the computer. It's not random, but
Right.
for us, it's random because it's different every time. But yes,
Random
that's kind of
means-
what I was getting to. I don't want to talk about this anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Shut up, Jay.
No.
And I will give the developers here a lot of credit too, because I did log in really, really early on in this game's lifespan, and it didn't grab me at all at the time, at all. And do you guys, any of you guys remember when it came out?
Yeah,
originally?
It was 2013, I think.
2013, and they, like you said, Matt, they've stuck with this game. They just released this expansion that opens it up to a whole new zone that's a completely different experience. And if you noticed on Twitch, Warframes jumped right up to the top.
Yep.
I mean, it's not the top, but it's in the top realm of the games being streamed. So the community's out there. The game is actually growing now.
Yep.
And it's not going anywhere. Which is actually exciting.
I honestly think the release of Destiny 2 and the hype around Destiny 2 has increased the exposure for Warframe, because when I look at the reviews on Steam for this, there's a huge spike in reviews within the last month or so, and most of them say, I just came here as a time killer until Destiny came out, and I don't know if I'm going to play Destiny when it comes out.
Yeah.
So,
well, their release of the open world
was
just
obviously
before Destiny's
right.
was brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really smart. It was it was trying to grab the Destiny audience before Destiny came out.
And they've
I
done
think
a
they
good
did
job at
that.
Yes, they have.
They've got at least 4 of them.
that.
So true.
So, all right. Well, I think that's all that we could possibly say about this game tonight. But I don't know. This is not going to be like some of the other ones that we've done. This game will remain installed. So that should probably just how we should do our reviews. We'll just ask if you're going to keep it or uninstall it.
Uninstall it right away.
That's actually not a bad idea.
That's how we'll do our reviews from now on. So
That's our thumbs up or thumbs down.
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So for Warframe, I'm gonna keep it installed. What about you guys?
Installed.
For
Yep,
sure.
definitely.
For sure. I'm loving it. Trying to get more
So
people
it's-
into it.
4 of 4 installed.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And if you got anything that you want to say about Warframe that we don't know about this game, feel free to let us know in the comment section down below, because obviously we only know a very small portion of what this game has to offer. If you guys like the video, you can go ahead and actually click the like button and like the video. You can always subscribe to us. And don't forget, Matt, what video of ours should they go to?
Lotro.
Yes. And what should they do when they get there?
You need to thumbs it down
There you go.
because Lotro sucks.
So once again, thanks for joining me today, fellas, and we'll see you guys next time.